Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. I'm Dr. Karen Kan, and this is for the week of November 5th, 2018. Just had Kung Fu class not that long ago, hence I'm in my Kung Fu outfit, our Revolution Wing Chun t-shirt. So a few things I wanted to share with you this week. If you did not happen to catch my interview on the U Wealth Revolution on Tuesday, November 6th, you can check that out on the replay. So that replay is going to be live through the weekend. So I made a pretty link to that. It's easy to get to, karenkan.com/U Wealth Replay. So all one word, YOUWEALTH, so U Wealth Replay. So karenkan.com/U Wealth Replay, and you'll see the replay there. So that free interview about how to unlock your superpowers of masterful manifesting. And we did some prosperity downloads, as well as putting you through a wonderful group process where you get to access 0 points. You can seed your ideal future reality. So we did like a mini healing on everyone, as well as doing some mini readings and healing. So check that out. It was a super, super fun interview. I had a blast. Okay, and so for this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest, there are kind of some themes that we're going to be working on. So one of the themes is around the word resilience. So I want you to feel in your body like what that means, resilience. So we find that light warrior sensitive souls, the people that that are my tribe, the ones that I am destined to help because of my soul mission, us light warrior sensitive souls could use more resilience when it comes to changes in our environments, especially when we are, when we're in toxic or negative environments. It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it, to be more resilient so that we don't have to be so sensitive, unless we wish to be. If we want to do a reading, we want to sense the energy of something, make a decision. Yeah, we absolutely want all our sensitivity, sensors on, but for most of everything else, it would be wonderful to be more resilient. So if there's negative stuff going on, politics, something like that, then we're not as affected. So what you can do if you do divine muscle testing is you can check how resilient is my physical body to XYZ. So to negative energies, to whatever. Okay. Or you can just say overall resilience. So you can check each of your quote unquote bodies, like mental body, emotional body, energetic body, physical body, spiritual body, dimensional body. So you can check how resilient each of those things are. And you may want to just check in to see whether or not you have downloaded the morphic fields of resilience in all those different ways. And if you haven't, you can ask your God team to go ahead and download and activate those positive morphic fields of resilience to you. So I hope this is helpful for you. Now, if you do the Topocan healing command, you would just say something like this: I now command that the positive morphic fields of resiliency, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, be downloaded and activated in me in the highest and best way, and reflect that to all my timelines where I exist with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. Yeah, so something along those lines. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but you can say that, focus on that with your intention, and then the God team will go ahead and, or the spirit team will go ahead and do that work for you. Yay! So the other word for this week is balance. So we got resiliency and then we got balance. So there's so many different things that could be balanced or not balanced. And sometimes we don't even know what balance really means, except the universe, thankfully, knows what it means. So what we got this week is that our various different bodies, our energetic bodies, physical body, that kind of thing, so that there is a balance between all of our multiverse lives in their bodies. So it's not that they're the same, but there's some sort of balance that needs to occur related to all of our timelines, because now we've converged all of our timelines, or at least the majority of us have converged all of our timelines, meaning that we are able to affect our other timelines. And this week, usually when people are having some problems or some symptoms, it's usually one alternate timeline that's the problem, either a non-parallel human timeline or parallel human timeline, or non-parallel non-human timeline, which means you're an alien in that other timeline. So sometimes when we check, at least with the one-on-ones and the mini healings I've been doing this past week, when we've been checking people and they're out of balance with the various different parts of them and amongst all the different timelines, there's usually just two timelines, usually this past week, that have been the most out of balance with each other. And so, you know, what you can do is just check to see, are all the various bodies completely balanced in all my timelines, amongst all my timelines, you know, put together. And if not, you can get a percentage, and then you can go ahead and command that they all be balanced in the highest and best way. And anything else preventing it, you know, just go ahead and heal that. So we have infused these instructions into the, let me see, again, which one? Ascension 2. Okay, Deep Healing 2 and 4 for those of you that have that. And what other ones? Awaken Your Superpowers. Okay, so those are the ones that have been infused with the new instructions, and including the resiliency morphic fields. And yeah, so if for whatever reason you're feeling a little funky, you just want to check balance. And there's so many different things potentially that you could check the balance of. It's not possible to really reveal all of those things. So the best thing to do is, you know, take out your Topocan healing guides if you have them. If you have Topocan level 1 healing, let me just show you those. Oops, just fell on the floor. Okay. So if you have your Topocan healing guides here, there's 3 guides. You can actually check to see, is there something in guide 1, guide 2 that needs to be balanced now that wasn't balanced before. And why suddenly the need for balance? Well, for whatever reason, the latest, I should say, Ascension upgrades, we've had like 51 or plus upgrades since, you know, probably more than that now, since last week. Different Ascension upgrades will affect different parts of us. And sometimes our parts need to kind of recalibrate. They need to rebalance after an Ascension upgrade. So think of an upgrade as like, say you are, you know, learning to ride a bike, and the bike analogy is like, hey, this is your spiritual vehicle, you know, like you're learning to ride a bike. So you start on flat ground, on pavement, you know, next to your house. And when you start to learn a bike, you're kind of rickety, but then you get pretty good at it and get pretty darn fast, right? So then what happens is an Ascension upgrade is sort of like your bike now being plopped in the middle of a mountain trail. So now you're on a mountain trail with all these ups and downs and rocks and trees and everything like that. And now you've got to navigate that. So when you first start, when you get plopped into that new environment, are you perfect? You know, are you perfect, you know, able to navigate everything as quickly as you did on flat land? No, probably not, right? So you're going to have to take some time to get used to this new terrain. Right? So you're going to take some time to take nutrient. And then after a while, once you've been on that, you know, mountain track for a while, you're like, hey, this is pretty good. I'm getting pretty good at this. But there's an adjustment time. So we have to be a little patient when we have Ascension upgrades, that there is an adjustment period, adjustment time. We can make those adjustments faster by figuring out what is out of balance now that needs rebalancing. And that's where the Topocan healing guides, you know, are really handy. That's where the Light Warrior support group on Facebook's super handy. If you have any of my, you know, products, you can definitely, you know, put in the, you know, discussion there. Hey, you know, what's going on this week, you know, and then we'll help you figure it out. So that, you know, things like that happen. So it's not a big deal, but just know that we can't expect that everything's going to be hunky-dory and the same. Nothing is the same. Everything keeps changing. Everything keeps upgrading. Everything keeps, getting to a higher and higher level. So we just need to be prepared to be able to assess or test or heal or recalibrate or rebalance ourselves. And some of us, it's not a big deal. You probably do it automatically. You might be just listening to Ascension 2 on a regular basis and you get all those updates on a regular basis and you don't need to know. For some of us, we do need to know. And so the universe gives us ways to figure that kind of stuff out. Okay, so the last thing I want to share with you is something that may or may not have affected you, but if you happen to be a light being star seed in this timeline, you might have felt a blip. So that was, let's see, actually that was after I recorded the last Spiritual Medicine Digest. So this was actually last week. I believe it was like a Thursday or Friday night. I think Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night. So I started getting a headache, a migraine. Usually when that happens, it usually means some pretty intense energies are moving or shifting, and I have to kind of sleep it off. But I was able to successfully test before I could sleep it off what was going on. And so what it was that with an Ascension upgrade that Thursday night, our dimensional bodies, so I loosely, have these terms for different parts of us. So there's the physical body, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, okay? And the dimensional one is like there's that part of us that's able to access multiple dimensions. And now normally all these bodies that we all feel better, generally speaking, when all these bodies are synchronized into a singular dimension in any particular timeline. So for example, in this timeline, this body, my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional body was all synchronized into the 5th dimension. And it was pretty happy there. Now, Thursday night, what happened was the dimensional body all of a sudden, seemingly with Ascension, all of a sudden was experiencing all dimensions possible. Now, I got that this was normal and optimal and part of the Ascension process. So it doesn't necessarily cause any particular symptoms. However, because I needed to know about it, that was happening, and it was part of our Ascension process, that the dimensional body now can see multiple dimensions at the same time, and that's okay. Like it can still jive with the rest of the other bodies that are still in the 5th dimension or 4th dimension or 3rd dimension, whatever you're at. However, that night, myself and some other starseeds, actually our physical bodies were experiencing those multiple dimensions as well. At least temporarily, just to alert me that, hey, wanted to let you guys know about the latest Ascension upgrades. So the physical body was able to sense or experience, is the better word, all dimensions at the same time, which was pretty uncomfortable, I suppose, temporarily. So after I find that out, then I could go ahead and resynchronize that physical body back into the 5th dimension, leave the dimensional body into be able to access all dimensions, and then, headache got better and felt better, and the next day I felt pretty much normal. So just in case that might have happened to you, if you had a migraine or felt really super funky, Thursday, Friday night, what you can do is just check that your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic bodies are all synchronized in a singular dimension, and you can check with muscle testing what dimension is ideal for you. Is it the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, whatever, okay? Generally speaking, for humans, because we are so dense here, it's usually going to be 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Now, sometimes your spiritual body can be like the 12th or something, and your mental body might be the 6th dimension, and your emotional body might be the 7th, and then your physical body might be the 3rd. But it does generally feel better for most people to be synchronized to a singular one. So some of the lower ones will come up, and some of the higher ones will come down to whatever level is the most appropriate for you. So don't freak out if you go, oh my gosh, my spiritual body was at the 12th dimension. How cool is that? And then after you do the synchronization, dimensional synchronization, now it's at the 4th dimension. You're like, I was at the 12th. Don't worry about it. Okay. We'll see what feels better for you. So just check to see if you need a dimensional synchronization. And we just generally feel like some people can totally tell, some of our starseeds can totally tell when they're scattered into multiple dimensions, or different parts of them are in different dimensions. It just does not feel good. They feel completely like, whoa, you know, like not brain foggy, but just like scattered. It doesn't feel good. They don't feel grounded. And then once they synchronize into that singular dimension, they feel really good. So, but just so you know, the dimensional body may be in multiple dimensions at the same time, and that's perfectly okay for you. Okay, so some announcements. Just wanted to let you know that I did a Facebook Live the other day. You can actually check it on the Light Warrior Network. It's a closed group on Facebook. Just talking a little bit about an answer to one of our Light Warriors who have recently, Marsha, who had her home burned down to the ground last Tuesday. So we're sending Marsha lots of love and healing. So if you're seeing this video, please also send some love and healing to Marsha and her whole family, and everyone else involved. But I just wanted to, just let you know that if you're looking for an answer to like tragedies like that, I did do a Facebook Live related to that on Light Warrior Network, so check that out. The other announcement we have is Monday's radio show on Light Warrior Network. I'm going to be interviewing Karen Rozell, and she is a coach that is actually not that far from me in New York, and she helps women entrepreneurs really become successful, and teaching them very, very specific ways of marketing that she calls the happy little practice. So I really like her training. It's really, really good. And so if you happen to be a healer or a practitioner who would be very happy with a six-figure business with working from home, maybe you don't need like a lot of employees, but what you do need is freedom. Like say you have little kids, or you have to take care of elderly parents. So if you want to work part-time, earn six figures, do it with the least amount of headaches. I've learned a lot. Wish I had Karen 10 years ago. Anyway, without a lot of headaches, like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to do Instagram and Facebook and all this kind of stuff? I don't know if social media, all that kind of stuff that entrepreneurs sometimes go through. Then Karen, you'll definitely want to listen to the interview between Karen and I, where she'll share some common mistakes that spiritual and female entrepreneurs make in their business, and also the solutions to those things. So join us Monday on the radio show, and you can check it out. If you go to KarenCan.com, we'll be posting the link in the blog, or you can just get right on my mailing list at KarenCan.com, and we'll send you the exact link, date, and time for the radio shows every week. That'd be so cool. Yeah. So join me on Facebook if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. You can subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Thank you. And if you're not part of the Light Warrior Network and are, a spiritual being with wanting some support, if you're light warrior that's like a indigo soul, earth angel, or a star seed, or any of the sensitive souls, would love to have you in the group. We do group activities every single week, Tuesday prayers. We've got Wednesday wins. We've got spiritual Saturdays, gratitude Saturdays. Anyway, so we would love to have you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say bye for now, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Until next time, bye.